Hello and welcome to Biocode. In this video, we will see how we can utilize sequence object to do various sort of manipulation on our DNA sequence or the protein sequence or whatever sort of sequence we can utilize. First of all, the thing that you need to know is that once we have taken the input from the user, we can directly pass it to the sequence function that we imported from the bio.seq function class, and we can just directly pass the input into that particular sequence function, and it will be converted into a sequence object directly. So rather than if you have watched the previous video, rather than storing that into a particular variable, then passing that particular variable, we are just directly passing the input to the sequence object, and then we are storing it as a DNA object, sequence object as a variable name my DNA, and then we are also printing that out. So in this video, what we are going to accomplish is that we are trying to see we are trying to show you that the sequence object also behaves just like a string would in Python. For example, you could do manipulation, string manipulation. You could convert the sequence into upper, lower. You can you could utilize the loop over the string variables, and you can numerate them. You can also you can also get the length of the string variable. You can find various sort of string motifs or string values within a particular string. For example, if your name is John Doe, then if you would like to find Doe within the string, you could have done that in Python as well. And various sort of stuff such as reversing, striding over the sequences, that sort of stuff could be accomplished with Python on various sort of strings. And that same sort of stuff could be accomplished with the sequence object, which is also basically fundamentally a string variable. So that can be accomplished with the sequence object as well. So we are going to demonstrate that. And first of all, what we need to understand is that we have taken the input from the user, we have converted it into a sequence object. Then we are also printing it as a my DNA, printing it out, which you basically know what it means. Then we are trying to get the first, for example, if the string is ATGC, then what we are trying to do is, since it starts from the 0 index, 0 1 2 3 4, so we are splicing the DNA, we are splicing the sequence from T to C. So T to G, because 3 is not counted, the ending index is usually not counted as the ending. It is usually -1. So in practice it would be T and G. So we are then converting it to upper layer, uppercase, and then we are converting it to lowercase as well. We are printing the DNA which we taken as input. We are also converting it into a lower and uppercase. So after that, we are just demonstrating that we can loop over the sequence object as well. So that would mean all we need to do is we need to just pass in the DNA sequence to the loop, then whatever loop we want to run. In this scenario, we are just enumerating the DNA sequence, and it will demonstrate the DNA sequence, for example, like this. If the sequence is ATGC, then it will demonstrate like this: 1A, I'm sorry, so 2 would be T, and like this. So it will print it out like this. And since we are looping over the sequence, and then enumeration, the value that is counted goes to the I variable, and the actual character that is within the string variable goes to the char variable, and then both are printed like this. So after the loop, we can also count the entire length of the sequence object, which is my DNA, and we need to pass that sequence object into the length function as a parameter, and the sequence length will be calculated and printed out. Then we can also do the utilize the count function. All we need to do is pass in the built-in function, pass in the parameter that we need to find. For example, I would like to find the ATG within my DNA sequence, which is my DNA. All we need to do is pass in your variable. For example, if your variable name is xyz, you need to pass in count and then any character that you need to find, like this. So that can be accomplished through this, and once you have understood that, we can it will return the count, not the actual position. It will return the count. For example, how many times ATG are present within your DNA. It will store that in my motif, and then a total found will be printed out. So we can also stride over the sequence. We can also reverse the sequences. This will basically stride, and striding basically means that going over the sequence and then printing out the value that after a particular value. For example, it will skip 2 values, 3 values, 4 values, that depends. And then we are also reversing the entire sequence, which is basically useful to quickly create a complementary sequence rather than utilizing the complement function, which you will learn in the next video. So I'm just going to run this particular script, and once we have run this script, you will see the results. First of all, we need to pass in our sequence ATG and ATG. See, there you go. So our sequence has run, and now you can see that first of all, what really happens is that we have passed in our sequence. The sequence gets converted into the sequence object, and it is printed out. Then we are since I said that we will be splicing the sequence, so 1 2 3, which basically means that we have spliced the sequence. T and G have been spliced out. Then we have converted it into upper layer and lower case. I'm not particularly sure why it did not work, but we will see that. Then we are looping over the sequence. As you can see, it starts from 0 and then goes all the way to 24, and then it is basically enumerating, or basically it is numbering out the sequences, each individual base pair within the sequence, and then it has printed out. So after that, we have received the total length of the sequence, which is 25. We have 25 sequence. If you can see 24 over here, so that means the first will be 0. So if you start from